Hi, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Today. We are glad you are with us this morning, and we can show you right away this is not a normal morning as we, right here on this show, try to practice what our experts are preaching. A little social distance, not emotional distance, but physical distance to do our part.
It does matter. We're practicing that at home. We're practicing that with our children, and we want to practice that at work because we feel like it's important. We have so many developments to talk to you about overnight, including that stunning recommendation. The CDC now advising all events with 50 or more people, we're talking things like weddings and everything in between, be canceled for the next 8 weeks.
It's a stunning guideline, and it comes as the nation's largest cities and many others, including New York and Los Angeles, announce strict new restrictions. Bars and movie theaters set to be closed in many places. Restaurants open, but just for takeout or delivery only.
Meantime, New York has also joined the lengthy list of cities closing down schools. The largest district in the country now shuttered until at least April 20th and possibly beyond.
And in a bold move to try and address the economic impact of this pandemic, the Federal Reserve has slashed interest rates to near zero. We've got complete coverage. We're going to begin with this massive meltdown at key international airports as Americans in Europe have rushed to return home. NBC's Tom Costello is on this fast-developing story. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. We have moved to a portion of the airport here that is less crowded, fewer ticket counters, but I'll tell you, there's really nobody in this airport, and the parking garage is virtually empty. As you know, the president ordered enhanced screening for anybody coming back from Europe, funneling them through 13 airports, and then if they have a positive health screening test, they need to self-quarantine for up to 14 days. But with Americans desperate to
to coast on the heels of those dramatic new CDC guidelines. Cities across the country shutting down schools and businesses. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer has that part of the story. Hey, Miguel, good morning.
Hoda, good morning. The nation's two largest school districts, including here in Los Angeles, are shut down. Governors in multiple states are ordering that restaurants, gyms, and crowd sizes be restricted. Drastic and dramatic moves to help reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
This morning, the nation's largest school system, New York City, has made the difficult decision to keep more than 1 million students and staff at home until at least the 20th of April.
We may not have the opportunity to reopen them in this full school year.
Mayor Bill de Blasio says he'll sign an executive order closing all New York City nightclubs, movies, theaters, and concerts, and restricting restaurants and cafes to takeout or delivery only starting tomorrow. The mayor of Los Angeles announcing similar closures, including gyms. At bars and restaurants nationwide, an early last call. State and local officials in Illinois, Ohio, and elsewhere closing nightlife until the end of the month.
The time for action is here. This is not a joke. No one is immune to this.
California's governor also taking unprecedented action, urging the state's 5.3 million senior citizens to self-isolate.
We are doing so with our eyes wide open at the magnitude of what that means.
The new restrictions follow a weekend in which some Americans ignored calls for social distancing. Bars in Chicago, New Orleans, and Savannah, Georgia, packed with St. Patrick's Day revelers. Spring break crowds over the weekend in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, prompting city leaders to close beaches.
We cannot become a petri dish for a very dangerous virus.
More than 40,000 residents in Teaneck, New Jersey, ordered to self-quarantine after a growing number of cases there. Meanwhile, a growing list of retailers have temporarily shuttered.
Hi, folks. We're actually
correct me if I'm wrong, is slow down the virus. The virus is coming. It's going to affect people. The question is how quickly and whether it stresses our healthcare system beyond its capacity. If it spreads and you get that peak, this is the flattening curve discussion we're always having. If you get that peak and the hospitals are overloaded, it's not just coronavirus people who are affected and might not get treatment. It's other kinds of serious things. So it does affect you if you're home.
If you look at ICUs, we have about 50,000 ICU beds. Most of those are full already without coronavirus patients, just with everyday patients. And so if you stress the system with more, and that's what we're talking about, flattening the curve, coronavirus is here. It's not going away. We need to get it under control.
Dr. Fair, just fast forward a week, 2 weeks. What do you expect, given the trajectory that we're on, what do you expect things to look like?
It's just an expectation, but I would say that we will approach Italy, Spain, France, and we are going to eventually have to implement, if it continues the way it is, with people not taking it seriously. Because if everyone is not on the same page, if you have half the people that are out at bars and restaurants and partying, half the people are not, it's not going to work.
Well, you're saying, so, I mean, when you look at Italy, and some people will tell you, oh, we're about a week or two behind what Italy is seeing now.
Yes.
I think Italy had its